We'll continue the meeting. We'll continue to scrutinize paper PWSC 2015-16-14 845th Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macao Bridge Hong Kong Boundary Crossing Facilities. Members are invited to increase the project estimate to $35895 million. Mr. Sin Chung Kai, 1 minute, fourth round. I'd like to ask for a ballpark figure, please. I asked you about raw materials, and it is a general question. What is the percentage of raw materials in the budget? Should it be 20%, 30%, or 40%? Do you have ballpark figures? You have been in the post for so many years. I think you must have a feel about that figure. I'm not asking for precise figures. DS, Chairman, I think Mr. Sin will know that it varies from project to project. I think you are asking about the percentage of the overall price. I think it should be between 30 to 40%. Mr. Sin, I still like to follow up. What if the price of raw materials falls so the project can be delayed for a while? You know, labor costs are so high now, and if we delay the project by a short period of time, then we don't have to compete for labor. And also, if raw materials will fall in price as well, then maybe we can take up phase 2 at a later date. Time is up, but I will allow the DS to give you a brief answer. Actually, the construction industry is watching prices. We expect that in the next 1 to 2 years, the prices will stay more or less stable, but in fact, there may be a small increase. Mr. Lee Cheuk-yan, fifth round, 1 minute. I am very unhappy about the reply by the Director of Highways. He must think that we are mathematics morons. He has given us only an average number. I'd like to ask, what is the highest number of hours of overtime work? Mr. Lee Cheuk-yan has asked this question 3 or 4 times, and the director has already replied that he would provide more specific figures after the meeting. Okay, if that's the case, if the director cannot give an answer now, if he has to provide the information after the meeting, then in accordance with paragraph 33 of the PWSC procedure, I move a motion for adjournment so the director will have time to provide the information. Okay, in accordance with PWSC procedure, para 33, Mr. Lee Cheuk-yan is moving a motion to adjourn the meeting. According to para 33 of the procedure, members can speak on the motion and for once only. And I propose every member has no more than 3 minutes. Please register your intention to speak by pressing the button. Mr. Lee Cheuk-yan first. Chairman, I strongly regret the late submission of the paper. It was submitted only this morning. I think the entire public should know the members are not given any time to read the paper, to study the paper, and to read the paper and all the points contained therein in depth. They are hitting below the belt. No council should be in this position. You must give sufficient time for members to study papers. The paper has been submitted late before the discussion of the entire issue started. The administration should have provided all the information, but then they did not. They are providing information like peeling an onion, and they are now trying to push things through. I think the entire mode of operation is unsatisfactory. On the other hand, we have been reading the paper as we went along today, but we could see that you are sacrificing lives while you push forth the project. Many members have commented on occupational safety and health, and whether that had anything to do with overtime work, and the administration is not facing up to the issue. This is a big loophole of the project, and there are things that have not been fully scrutinized. The administration is saying they would submit the information later or after the meeting, but then that would be water under the bridge. I think the best way to do this is to adjourn the meeting right away so we can read the paper and think about what questions we want to ask, and the administration will be able to give a comprehensive reply to all the questions raised this morning. Mr. Chairman, you're asking us to have a meeting of 7 hours and is really pushing members to very hard work indeed. I regret that, and I would move the motion of adjourning the meeting. Any other members who would like to speak? Ms. Alice Mack. Chairman, we of course are minded about OSH and workers' safety. This morning, some members always mentioned the FTU and our concern about OSH. Of course, we are concerned about safety of workers, but if we continue to filibuster, the construction industry will have no work. The same person said this morning that the chairman of the FTU has talked about OSH, and that is why the OSH issue has got the attention of the FTU all along. But at the same time, we want filibuster to end ASAP, so workers' livelihood will not be affected. But what is more important is, I must say this again, after the vessel collision at Kap Shui Mun Bridge, we know that if we only rely on Lantau Highway, Tung Chung residents have a lot of difficulties in commuting. And in fact, apart from this bridge, there is the Tuen Mun Chatlap Kok road and also the connecting road to the airport. We hope the project can be finished ASAP. That is the view of community organizations. So Tung Chung residents have another way to go to the urban area if anything should happen. Another member is asking for adjournment. If they are really minded about the project, well, that I understand. But I believe members of the public who are watching on TV and those people at the meeting will know what their real objective is. So please do not filibuster so Tung Chung residents are affected. Next one, Chen Kam Lam, 3 minutes. Chairman, this morning, during this meeting, Mr. Leung Kwok Hong moved a motion for adjournment of debate and the meeting. Say the paper was submitted in a rush. Mr. Lee Cheuk Yen cited the same reason for adjourning the meeting. In this past period, questions have been repeated time and again, and they actually ventured out of the scope of the project being studied by the PWSC. Mr. Chairman, you have been very forbearing. You allowed members to repeat and repeat the same points, and some questions have been asked over 10 times. We have spent quite some time today to study phase 2 of the project. The paper has been submitted and members would have read it. If you are really minded to scrutinize the project, then this morning the Undersecretary and also the Director of Highways gave explanations this morning. So you should understand the situation. But even if you don't, we still have the Finance Committee scrutiny stage, and members will still be able to ask questions. I think this adjournment motion is unnecessary. The objective is just to lengthen the time taken by this committee to scrutinize the project so that they may be able to throw this project out of the agenda altogether. I think that is not necessary. This is a highly transparent council, and everybody can see whether members are really sincere and serious in studying projects that have a bearing on Hong Kong's future. I hope members will not resort to unbelievable excuses to try to stand in the way. This morning, we also had a parallel PAC meeting. In fact, we have clashing meetings throughout the week. This is because there is frequent filibustering. So we cannot carry forward our discussions and make decisions, and there is a big backlog of issues. I object to the adjournment motion. Any other members who would like to speak? If not, yes. Please raise your hand. Who pressed the button? Mr. Tam Yu Chung. I think, well, I actually like to filibuster so that the meeting can continue. Some other people filibuster because they want to kill off the item. In fact, this morning, the Pan Democrats have already tried to move a motion to adjourn the item. Unfortunately, the motion was not carried, and therefore they said they had many questions to ask, and they would need much more time. But they only resorted to adjournment motions time and again, hoping to derail the meeting. This is actually not very meaningful. On the face of it, you want to protect workers' safety. We, of course, all place emphasis on worker safety, and we are asking the administration to step up the measures. But this doesn't mean that we should not concentrate on the issue for discussion today. This is a funding application for the bridge. If we don't resolve it today, it will have to be rolled over to the next meeting. Now, what is the merit of accumulating a big backlog? Since you have put aside the time, have this meeting, if you want to seek clarifications, ask the questions. Why do you want to stop the meeting in the tracks? Well, as I said this morning, the only reason is that whatever the administration is proposing, whether they are items for funding applications, you just want to kill them off. What merit is there for society? The public are watching. They feel very offended. Many projects are underway. If we hold up the funding applications, the works might have to stop, and workers will have no work. Their livelihood is at stake. So as members, we should do what should be done and not resort to different ways and means to hold up the discussions. The officials are all here. It is a very good opportunity for us to clarify issues, and then after that we'll have to make a decision. Papers have been provided, and they have provided replies to questions, and I can observe that many questions are repeated.
Any other questions or members would like to speak? And Chang, Mr. Lee Cheuk-yan moves an adjournment motion. I'm very surprised. Well, for the public that is watching the television, they would know which members are repeating questions all the time. They started from this morning and they're still doing it now. And after lunch, they have come up with yet further questions. And you say that not enough information is provided to you. Yes, if you want further information, they will go back and collect information and provide it to you afterwards. So why do you want to adjourn the meeting? Is this the only answer that you want? You still have a lot of questions. Well, if you are saying that you only have one question, then okay, I'll support you. Then you ask your question. For the members who are filibustering, do you have any other questions? If you have other questions, then we will continue with the meeting. You put your questions to the government officials. If you have no more questions, then you can support Mr. Lee Cheuk-yan's motion. If there is only one question, then the government officials will provide you with information, but you don't just have one question remaining, right? Chairman, I think we are wasting the taxpayers' money, and this is a waste of effort and time. And somebody says that if they have to be out of town, then we shouldn't add other meetings. Okay, if you are going on a trip, then we cannot hold a meeting. And now you are asking for adjournment. Lee Cheuk-yan wants to adjourn the meeting. It's great. You just get the pay every month and you don't have to attend meetings. Chairman, I will definitely object to this motion. And I am not filibustering. I am criticizing them. Well, there are members who criticize government officials all the time. It seems that they know everything, and other people makes all the mistakes. They are always right. And now we are just making a few remarks. We are asking you if you want to filibuster. Well, from this morning until now, this is the first time I speak. Then now you're accusing me of filibustering. You can speak all the time, and I'm not allowed to speak. The world does not belong to you. Now the chairman is very forbearing. He's very accommodating. Now he gives you an opportunity to ask numerous questions, and you can speak forever. Chairman, I think it's time. If you want to end the filibustering, I think it's the right time. Chairman, I object to the adjournment of the meeting, and I think that you should end the filibustering as soon as possible. Does any other member want to speak? If no, do the government officials want to say anything? Chairman? Yes, Under Secretary? I would like to respond to a point made by Mr. Lee Cheuk-yan. He says that we submitted our paper in a rush. Well, last time we already said that we would try our best to provide you with information. Our colleagues had to burn the midnight oil to work out this paper. And today we have a very long meeting, so I'm sure we can answer all your questions. And these are not very complicated issues. I'm sure we can answer to them. And also, you have been talking about industrial accidents, and the situation is serious. Yes, I understand that you are very concerned about the lives of workers and the safety. And the data we mentioned just now point out that our accident rate at this project is relatively low when it's compared with other projects in the industry. So I hope that this problem should not be exaggerated. It's not that we are sacrificing lives for this project. And I'm sure we will have enough time to clarify members' doubts, and we will be able to answer all your questions. As for industrial safety, maybe the director can also supplement. Well, Chairman, I would like to supplement. When it comes to working hours, my colleagues have given me some data. On each site, we have records. That is about the working hours of our workers. We can make an analysis. Our site team hasn't found problems concerning overtime work at this site. Mr. Lee Chak-yan, you have 1 minute to speak. Chairman, it's very obvious that the pro-establishment camp would like to push this through the council. Now there's an budget overrun of $5 billion, and you think it's just a small amount of money. Well, the public would know what you are doing. Well, the FTU thinks that the most important thing is to give work to the give jobs to the workers. But do we have to sacrifice lives for that? And also for the construction industry, there are a lot of problems because sometimes you want numerous workers and sometimes you just get rid of them. So the government still haven't given us the analysis concerning overtime work. Well, you say that that's no problem. How do we know that? Because we haven't seen a paper on that. I'll put the motion to the vote. That is, this meeting be adjourned immediately. For those who are for this motion, please raise their hands. Okay, well, the bell will ring for 5.
而家要表決嘅議題呢，係本委員會
Now we are going to vote on this. That is, this meeting be adjourned immediately. Please do not shout at your seats. Now we will put this motion to the vote. Please check your votes. Now the voting result is displayed. We have in attendance 33 members, 18 for, 14 against, 0 abstained. So the motion is carried. The meeting is now adjourned. The next date of meeting is the 19th of December, 2:30.